Hi, welcome to your video lesson for the week. I'm Diana Chittister, and today we are tackling the final part of our intro to Crazy on You. Now, as I mentioned in the last video, because there are so many pieces to this, everything that we've done so far, I'm going to put past video links down in the comments section below, so that, in the description section below, so that you're able to find each video part, so you're able to go back and review anything in case you missed it. Because today what we're going to focus on, we're looking at just the last two measures, I think, of the last of the intro, right before we go into the main riff of the song, the rock strumming. So we're going to start with a quick review of everything we've covered so far. The core of the song, the three different endings, and that will lead us right up to where we are today. So I'm going to first start by taking it slow. I'm going to go back, play the entire intro slowly so you can hear it pieced together, and then we'll continue on. Okay, so where we left off from last week, we played all of our endings and we were finally about to move out of how we repeat. We repeat that core and then we change an ending. We're finally going to move on past that. But of course we're going to start the same way we've started everything else. We're going to play the core part of our song. And when I say core, I'm referring to that triplet. But in this case, instead of sliding up to our 4th fret and to our 5th fret, we're going to go straight from that A minor chord into a G major chord shape. So where we're going to pick up is right after our hammer-ons that we did, where we played on the 5th and 4th string, playing on the 5th and 4th fret, 3rd and 2nd fret, and here we are, back in our A minor position. Now the first thing that we're going to do is repeat the core of our song. But here, instead of us sliding up, as I said, we're going to come over with our ring finger leading the way into a G major, as if we're going to go into a G major chord shape. But instead of us sealing up our chord, we're going to play that low E string where we're holding it down on the 3rd fret. And then we're going to use over here on our right hand, we're going to use our ring finger to play the high E string. Now what we're doing is we're sort of descending down the scale. Okay, so we played a low G, a high E, and then using these open fingers here on our left hand, we're going to play the 3rd fret of our 2nd string, 1st fret of our 2nd string, open B string, and middle finger can take the 2nd fret of our G string, which is an A note. Alright, okay, so let's play that a little bit quicker so you can hear that descending scale. Now we're going to shift into a D major with an added F sharp. To help us transition into that, we are going to play an open G and an open D string together. Now when we go into that D over F sharp, there are a couple different ways that you can approach this chord. A common way is to take your D major chord and bring your thumb around to play. But in this case, what makes this shape a little trickier is the fact that we have to bring in yet another triplet. So when we go into going from this G shape into our D over F sharp, it's probably going to be a little more convenient for your middle finger to shift down here to hold down the 2nd fret of your low E string, which is your F sharp, which is going to free up the rest of your hand to play that triplet we've been carrying through, where we play the 3rd fret, 1st fret, open string, but we're going to need our ring finger here to hold down the 2nd fret of your G string or your 3rd string. Okay, so that's a long explanation to say when you're in this G major chord shape, when you shift here to your middle finger holding down the F sharp, bring your ring finger to the 2nd fret of your 3rd string, and that's going to give you your pinky finger and index finger freed up to play this triplet. Okay, so what we have happening is we play our A, and then our final chord shape we get to move to is an E major. You almost feel some relief when we get to this E major chord because we're sort of heading back to our basics. When we play our E major, we're playing 2 strings at a time as we sort of work our way up the scale and then back down. So we're going to start, and we're going to focus in here on the right hand. We're going to start with your low E and your G string being played together, your low A string, sorry about that, and G string being played together. Then we're going to play your low D string and using your middle finger on your B string together, and then your high E string along with your G string, and then bring it back down. B and D together, and your G and A together. Alright, so all together we have our low E and D string, our A string and D string, and then our B string and G, our high E and our G, and then back to our B and our D, and then our G and our A. Once we kind of repeat our chord, throw in those new chord shapes, we're going to break away from everything that we've been doing. We're going to slide up to the 6th fret of our B string, and we're going to play that along with our A note. And then we have yet another sort of triplet hammer-on pull-off, where we are going to move from our 5th fret, hammer on to the 6th fret of our B string, back off to our 5th fret, down to our 3rd fret, to an open string. All of that is going to happen on your B string. And as you play that open B string, you're going to bring your ring finger over to the 5th fret. I'm sorry, probably a little easier if you use your middle finger on the 5th fret of your 3rd string. Your ring finger then comes up to the 5th fret of your B string, down to the 3rd fret of your B string, 5th fret of your 3rd string, middle finger takes the 4th fret of your 3rd string, and then probably easiest reach will be your pinky finger on the 6th fret of your 4th string, which is your D, and then a low open E. Alright, to review all of that, lots of details happening in there, but we're still, just think about it as you're slightly working your way down. It's like you're ascending down through a scale. So we're going to have our 6th fret of our B string. Most of our movement happens on this B string. We're going to play that along with our A. And then hammer, get in position on that 5th fret of your B string, because we're going to hammer on to our 6th fret and pull off back to our 5th fret. Down to our 3rd, open B string, give this middle finger on that 5th fret of your 3rd string, then your ring finger takes the 5th fret of your B string, 3rd fret of your B string, back to your 5th fret of your 3rd string, which is your G, 4th fret, 6th fret of the next string down, the D, and then open E. Okay, you did it. You made it through. So now we have all of the pieces of the song. We're going to go back through. We're going to play it slowly together, start to finish. Now, as I mentioned in the very first video that we did in this song, there are a couple things that can help you find your timing. And one of those key things is paying attention to that low A note. This is a little bit of a trick that might take some time to get the hang of, but everything revolves around that low A. It's sort of your metronome in the song. And if you work the rest of your hand around it, meaning that if you think about it in terms of your thumb playing that low A is almost a trigger for the rest of your hand, it should help you find your timing. Okay, so we're going to go through it, and keep in mind that the small difference in the way that I'm playing it versus the way that Nancy Wilson plays it in the recording is you're going to hear my A note kind of chugging through the whole song. And I'm intentionally doing that to help you find your timing around it. So as you're practicing it, see if you can find that consistent low A playing the 8th note rhythm for us. Other than that, you have all of your pieces, taking it in sections, in a way that I call drill style, meaning over and over and over and over again until you see how all of the pieces fit. It's going to be your best way to practice the intro to this song. Keep in mind it's an advanced level song, alright, so it's going to take some time. But we're going to go through, I'm going to play it slowly, the whole thing, so you can really hear how all of that detail stuff is working in this song. And then we'll get into the main rock riff. There we go.